Like we're feeling that most of the players at the moment looks as if they've returned from international duty okay. We've got Agard doing a little bit on the grass, but nowhere near sort of level of training. But at least he's back now, getting outside a little bit more. And Ben Johnston's had a week and a half of training, so he's closing in fitness. Ben Johnston, so I think that's probably about them all really.
Thank you. I mean, you mentioned there that you're returning from international duty. How is everyone? And I wonder what kind of an opportunity is that presented in terms of chance for everyone to kind of reset?
Well, good. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that they're all fresh, and a lot of boys who didn't go, they've had a couple of days off, and we've been able to work over a period as well. The boys who've been in international duty, hopefully they come back with confidence and come back in good shape, which they have done. So we'll look forward to the game.
What's the focus now? I guess now you've had that chance to maybe stop, reflect. What is it that you feel you need to work on?
Well, we want to win the games. I think there's a lot of things which we can do much better, and we're working to do it. But I also think there's a lot of things we've done pretty well, and maybe not quite the rewards which our efforts should have got. But ultimately, no, there's a lot of things which we think we're doing quite well, and we want to try and continue that way.
Next up, Wolves. I wonder, how do you feel going into that? You seem sort of positive and really looking forward to getting stuff in.
Yeah, well, we've now got, I think we've got 3 games at home coming up roughly, and we've got one away in Europe, but I think we've got 3 games, maybe not all at home, 2 of them certainly at home. So we're looking forward to getting back to the London Stadium. We missed a game in the period, against Newcastle. So yeah, I think we're ready. I think we're in good spirits, and the players are in good form. So hopefully we'll be ready to go.
I just wanted to ask you about the news that Mark Noble's to return to the club as sporting director.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you about that appointment, and what do you think he's going to bring to the club?
Well, I always wanted Mark to be part of the club, and I think, not me, I think West Ham United should be pleased to have Mark Noble part of the club as well, because he's a great ambassador, he's been a great player, and we hope that he'll go on to be a very good working sporting director. But you've got to remember, Mark's only new, so we've got to give him time to train up to be a sporting director. He's only just a little bit of time out of being a player, so he's got a bit of work to do, a bit of training to do, but I'm really looking forward to working with him, and I've been in touch with him, been on the phone the last few days to him as well, so we'll look forward to him starting.
Roger.
Hi David.
Hi there.
After the Everton game, you mentioned that a couple of players had let you down. Is that something that you've addressed since then, spoken to them about it? And when you say let them down, was that the case of they didn't play well, or perhaps attitudes weren't right?
I don't think any of my players have ever let me down. I don't think I ever used those words. I may have said I was disappointed with some of the players who had performed before, but none of the players here have ever let me down. They're great, really good players, great lads. So no, I think that they've done a great job here over the 2 years.
Coming up against Wolves, it's 17th against 18th. 2 clubs that in recent seasons have been a lot higher than that. What do you put that down to? Is it the fact that you're 2 clubs that have perhaps punched above your weight consistently for a good couple of years, and this is almost a consequence of having to compete at that level?
I think probably if you look back a couple of years, if you said that West Ham had gone as far up the table, I think you'd have said, oh, that's really good, and probably punching above our weight. But I think since we've been there, we actually feel as if we're quite comfortable here. We want to challenge here, we want to stay there. Our work, what we're doing is to maintain that position. But yeah, obviously we've got off to not as good a start as we'd have wanted. But there's also been some reasons behind that. If you look at, I think we've played more games than any other Premier League team at this present time in the season. And also in 5 of those games we've only had 2 days recovery. So you have to, if you put all those things in, we started the season with only one fit centre back, and we're also trying to integrate 7 or 8 new players. So all those things I hope would give me a decent reason. But ultimately, I'm judged on results, and I know that the results have got to get better.
When you talk about integrating the players, and there were several new signings, how difficult is it to integrate those players while maintaining what's achieved, what you've had before that was brought you success?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've said a couple of times, I think that we were always going to make a change. This was always going to be a new season for us. I remember when I came in, I was talking about the growth and how we're growing the club, and we are. We're continually growing the club. And just now and again, you have to break things to try and grow it. And we feel at the moment we've had to break it a little bit. But the players who are here, we've still got a big chunk of the players who've been involved over the last couple of years and have played ever so well. But we're now integrating other players to that as well.
I can ask about Diego Costa, could make his debut for Wolves. We all know about him, what the player he was in the Premier League before. What does he bring to Wolves? What dimension does he bring that perhaps they didn't have before, and how does that affect your preparation?
Well, you might know as much as me because we've not seen as much of Diego Costa for the last couple of years. But obviously, he had a terrific season or two in the Premier League. Scored goals, was a handful for whoever he played against. Has got a great reputation as a footballer. But I don't know enough about Diego Costa at this present time to really comment on it.
And just finally, Scamacca, he's come in, a lot of money, he's been used predominantly off the bench. How long is the process of settling in a player like that before you look at him and think he's a big money signing, he's coming to score goals?
Yeah. Well, he played against Aston Villa, but I think everybody forgets he had a really bad virus for 2 or 3 weeks, which is the reasons he hadn't played. It wasn't that we weren't playing him. So we've had to bring him back from that, and sometimes those things go amiss, but we think a lot of him. We really like him. He's coming on well. So I'm sure as long as he stays fit and healthy, you'll see a lot more of him.
Emma?
Hello, David.
Hi, Emma.
3 goals so far in the Premier League this
Yeah.
season. Score goals win games. So where are the goals, and how can you change things to
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We've not scored enough goals. Hit Woodward, what is it, 6 times? 6 times, so that doesn't get you a goal, but it tells you you're getting close to goals, and maybe on another day you get it. I think we've had a couple of penalties, we've missed one as well, so there you go, there's another little bit of goals which we've just not taken. So from that point of view, I think we've created some chances, not as many and not enough as we really want, but we have created chances, and actually in most of the games were XG. If you want to look at that at the moment, it's probably been more than our tally that we've got. So it's probably a bit more about taking the opportunities we're getting and trying to get in front in the games. We've not been in front enough in the games this season.
And do you have to change something in training to change that, or as you've already referenced, hitting the woodwork, missing penalties, etc. You're kind of very close to those goals going in.
Well, we work. Everybody works. Any football manager I know, works continuously on finishing, scoring goals, taking your chances, all the actions which get you goals. So we're no different to the rest, and we're continuing to work as we've always done. We could just do with some of our top goal scorers. We're needing them to come up with the goals. And let's be fair, we weren't absolutely prolific from January onwards last year, but we got goals, we got important goals. Jared Bowen stepped up greatly last year when maybe Mick hadn't scored quite as many. So we need that to happen again. We need people to step up and get us goals.
And is Jared a player in particular you're looking at? Are you aware that he's frustrated at the moment that he hasn't got a Premier League goal yet?
I don't think he's necessarily frustrated. I think he just wants to try and score more goals and play well. And I think he's doing everything he can to do that. We really like him. He's a huge, valuable player to us, and one who we like a lot.
When does your current form become a cause for concern? You're an experienced
Yeah.
manager, you know what's going to
Yeah,
be the ebbs and flows of a season.
Yeah, we know what happens when you don't lose the games. You get talked about because your team isn't doing so well. So that's part of the job, and I accept that. But I think we've done a lot of good things. A couple of things haven't gone so well for us, but I'm not going to use that as any excuse at all. I'm looking for good reasons to try and play well, good reasons to play better if we can do, and I think there's a lot of reasons we need to do a lot of these things much better than we're doing at the moment. But it comes with the territory, doesn't it? I've had over 1,000 games or so as a football manager, and 6 months ago we were semi-final of Europe, challenging for the top 4 or the top 5. So it can change quickly, but also, we've come quite a long way in a short distance at West Ham as well.
With that in mind, I was going to say, I don't see you as being a manager under particular pressure at the moment, despite this start of the Premier League season, because of what you've already achieved here at West Ham, and because of the investment that has been made in the squad, and because I guess of the experience that we know you have and what the players
thank you for that, and I'm glad you're saying that. I'd love to say that that's absolutely true, but in this industry we're in, we know that you're never too far away if you get it wrong. But we're part of it, but I do think that all the things you're saying, I think are right. I think that we've worked really hard to try and improve West Ham. The club have been brilliant to me. They really have been, and continue to be brilliant. They're very solid, and they know what we're trying to do. They know that we've brought in quite a few new players. The club have been very good in the money they've invested. So what they want to see, and everybody wants to see, is results. And at the moment we've not started as well as we should have or could have. So we're going to try and make that much better now.